Sir Handel kept slipping between the rails, so they gave him new wheels with broad tyres. The other engines teased him. "Look at his steamroller wheels," they laughed. "You shut up," Sir Handel snorted. "You're jealous. My wheels are special, like Peter Sam's funnel in fact. Now I'll go faster than any of you." "You'll never!" The engines were surprised. Sir Handel's trains were usually late. Scarlotti winked. "With your grand new wheels, Sir Handel," he said gravely, "you're just the engine to tackle George." "Who's George?" Sir Handel asked. While Sir Handel was in the shed waiting for his new wheels, workmen had come to widen the road, which ran for a mile or two beside the railway. They'd pulled down the wall and nothing protected the line. George was their steamroller. He chuffered to and fro, making rude remarks when the engine passed. "Railways are no good," he would say. "Pull 'em up, turn 'em into roads." Scarlotti had often heard that talk before, and he had warned the other engines to take no notice. But he had hoped, when the two boastful engines met, he and others would have some time. "Don't worry anymore," said Sir Handel importantly when they told him about George. "Leave him to me, I'll soon send him packing." Next morning, George was standing near the hole by the level crossing. "Huh," he said. "You're Sir Handel, I suppose. And you're George, I suppose. Yes, I've heard of you." "And I've heard of you. You swank around with your steamroller wheels, pretending to be as good as me." "Actually," said Sir Handel sweetly, "I'm better. Goodbye." He puffed away. George chuckled, fuming. One afternoon, Sir Handel had to bring a special load down after the last train was gone. When he reached the road, he saw George trundling home. "Beep, beep, beep." George took no notice. He trundled along close to the track. There was barely any room to pass. "Beep, beep, beep, beep." Sir Handel slowed and crept cautiously alongside. "Get out of my way, you great clumsy road hog!" he hissed. "I don't move for imitation steamrollers," retorted George with spirit, as they lumbered along side by side, exchanging insults. No one could explain what happened next. George's driver said he had signalled for Sir Handel to stop, and Sir Handel's driver said he signalled to George. There was a crash. The brake van tilted sideways, and the guard scrambled out to find George's front roller nuzzling his footboard. The two drivers were hotly arguing whose fault it was. The police strolled up in time to stop the argument before turning it into fisticuffs. When Sir Handel's firemen came back with Rusty and Mr. Hugh, they all set to work clearing up the mess. Neither engine has been going fast enough to cause much damage, so Sir Handel was able to bring his train on when George had backed away from him. Next day, the workmen put up a fence between the road and the railway, then went away, taking George with them. This was because they had finished their work, but Sir Handel thought he had made George go away. He was more conceited than ever, and talked everlastingly about steamrollers. "Oh dear," whispered Scarlet one evening. "He's worse than ever. I'm sorry my plan was no good." "Never mind," said Rusty. "We'll think of something else." But they had no need for that, for some boys came and asked Mr. Hugh if they could come and look at some of the engines. Almost at once, one called out, "Look! Here's Sir Handel! He raced the steamroller last week. The roller nearly beat him too. It was most exciting." Sir Handel never mentions steamrollers now.